We bring stability, we bring investment, we bring growth.
BC Parliament saw some seriously heated arguments today. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got David Eby in the hot seat as we have the former mayor of Vancouver who alleges that a cabinet member of David Eby's government was collaborating with the Chinese Communist government. This is a real story with allegations coming from the former mayor. We've got gas prices soaring. We've got a bunch of other stuff. Let's jump into this. Starting this episode off, we got CBC News posting this. Montreal Ottawa high-speed rail line could cross 1,700 properties. Alto predicts roughly 500 farmers could be affected. Yeah, this is not going to be a feel-good story at the end of the decade, is it? I find it hard to believe that 500 farmers and 1,700 property owners are going to be like, sure, build that big high-speed rail right through my yard. No problem. We've got Elections BC posting this. There's some good news here. We got the BC Conservatives fundraising numbers here. The best first quarter fundraising ever. 1,083,000, NDP at 702,000, and the Greens at 129,000. I'm shocked the Greens can raise that much money with like a 25-year-old running the party. No life experience, but running a party. Now, the only thing is we got to get Carrie Lynn Finley to be the leader of the Conservative Party. I thought I'd just share this about Mark Carney's newest pick as Governor General. So we've got Louise Arbour, and we can see her sitting here at the World Economic Forum, Davos in 2013. Here's a close-up of her, so it's obvious why Mark Carney picked her. She's already in the inner circle that Mark Carney is a part of. We got Jeffrey Rath of the Alberta Separation Movement posting this. He says that he had an interesting chat with a Texas oilman today saying American companies and capital are waiting to flood into Alberta to invest the minute Alberta declares itself independent from Canada and scraps the industrial carbon tax. Just imagine if Carney announced that tomorrow and says, you know what? No more carbon taxes in Alberta. Just bring that business in here. Let's just have everything boom. Of course, he's not going to do that because he is the architect of net zero. And what's most beneficial to him is to increase the value of his Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1. So that's not going to happen. Sadly, we got some gas prices updates from Canadians across the country. We've got 249.9, Vancouver 222.9. Yep, Northern BC 266.9 and 272.9 for premium gas, 275 for super clean. We got this account here, Royal Military College grad, veteran, pilot, chemical engineer, posting this. Honda's investing $9.6 million in the US. Toyota's investing $10 billion in the US. Stellantis investing $13 billion in the US. GM investing $6 billion in the US. How's not having Canada-US trade deal looking now? New investment expected to exceed $9.6 million. Toyota invests up to $10 billion. Stellantis, $13 billion. GM's US manufacturing investments surpass $6 billion. Moving ahead, we've got investigative journalist Sam Cooper posting this. Former Vancouver mayor says Premier Eby aware of RCMP investigation into BC cabinet minister over alleged Chinese government collaboration. Jumping over to his news website, The Bureau, we've got Kennedy Stewart, the former mayor of Vancouver, said in a broadcast interview Monday that British Columbia Premier David Eby is aware of an active RCMP investigation into a sitting cabinet minister suspected of collaborating with the Chinese government, and that senior NDP officials have been alerted to the matter with no apparent action taken. He goes on to say Stewart was initially interviewed in connection with a global news report revealing that Chinese consular officials had pressured a Vancouver City Hall employee to cancel a run of Shen Yun performances at the city-owned Queen Elizabeth Theatre. Shen Yun presents performances celebrating pre-communist Chinese traditions, programming the Chinese government has long sought to suppress abroad. So the Chinese government doesn't like Shen Yun performances. They want that out. And of course, they're using the United Front Work Department and all their different connections and webs to try to get rid of this kind of stuff. It says the shows went ahead on April 8th and 12th despite the consular pressure and bomb threats. But Stewart told Joe Hall, which is a podcast here I'll show you in a second, he believes British Columbia's vulnerability to Chinese interference runs far deeper than a single incident at the civic level. Stewart did not identify the BC NDP minister in question. The Bureau is not naming or speculating on the individual. No charges have been laid. So here's what the former mayor, Kennedy Stewart, had to say himself on the Joe Hall podcast.
It's come to my attention, and I've reported it, and in fact was interviewed for about 4 hours by lawyers working for the federal government about a BC cabinet minister under investigation for collaborating with the Chinese government, something that I reported to senior BC NDP officials. I know the premier's aware of it. I know that the many members of cabinet are aware of this. This is an ongoing RCMP investigation that nothing's being done about it. And essentially, in my view, we're just rolling over, and we're not protecting our sovereignty from what I consider, the biggest threat to democracy in Vancouver and across Canada.
In regards to the NDP cabinet minister, is that individual's, I don't know if you can say, is that individual still a member of the NDP caucus today?
Yeah, an active cabinet minister that I know because, when you're interviewed by reporters and actually editors of news organizations, by CSIS, by officials from Ottawa, they're asking you questions, but I'm also asking them questions. And I've had this confirmed, did immediately alert government officials, making sure that this information got to the top of the chain. It did. And then nothing's happened.
Just to confirm, you're saying that this individual, in regards to the NDP cabinet minister, this person is still a cabinet minister with today's NDP cabinet?
Yes.
This person is still a cabinet minister today that has been allegedly collaborating with the Chinese Communist Party, according to the former mayor of Vancouver. Now, would we consider this a credible source of news? Privy to a lot of information, this guy's worked near the top of the ladder here in the city of Vancouver.
And you've expressed all those concerns.
Yeah, in written letters. When I reported this nationally, I had to sign NDAs to say I wouldn't talk about it. So I am even taking a risk mentioning this to you here. But it is, I think, a serious problem that both at the civic level and now at the provincial government level, you're seeing what happens when you don't address these things seriously, is you'll just get more and worse interference.
Unbelievable. Now, if you've been watching the channel since the start, you know my feeling on David Eby and China. I mean, I've been saying this for 2.5 years, how we already have connections of David Eby being wrapped up with the Chinese government through Ding Guo, his senior advisor. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on, like First Nations doing deals or starting to talk and collaborate with the Chinese government. There's a lot of interest in critical minerals. It's an easy way to bypass Donald Trump and hold leverage over the Americans, having access to critical minerals through First Nations. First Nations want more of that land back. The government is enabling this, both the NDP and the Liberal government. Not to mention you have David Eby giving taxpayer dollars to Ding Guo, going over to the Wenzhou Friendship Society, which is a direct wing of the United Front Work Department, China's arm of foreign influence. $20,000 grant Eby gave to the CC 100 Society in 2021. Ding Guo himself, buddy with Senator Yun Pao Wu, and Ding Guo used to be a special contributor to Rise Weekly, this news outlet in Beijing. News outlet, we should put it in quotes like that, alleges pro-PRC narratives boosting Eby. Not an allegation, not a court filing, but I mean, it's pro-Beijing news outlet that this guy writes for. He said this publication was known to advance the views of the CCP. This is who David Eby's gotten to bed with. Now we're getting this bombshell allegations coming from the former mayor of Vancouver. Now this has turned into complete pandemonium in the BC Parliament. I'll play this first clip with David Eby. This is where it starts to ramp up, and then the second clip just turns into complete pandemonium.
The former mayor of Vancouver, on losing the last municipal election, alleged that the Chinese government was collaborating with the candidate who ran against him and caused him to lose the election. Member is right. I did door knock with Kennedy during the municipal election, and I can assure this House that he did not lose the election because of the Chinese government. He has made these allegations previously. I am aware of those allegations, but I can also tell this House that I took significant steps, including significant personal disclosure, to the federal government in order to obtain top secret clearance from the federal government in order to access top secret briefings from CSIS and the RCMP.
Oh, these top secret briefings and clearance is all nonsense. We talk about influencing elections. Xi Jinping helped Mark Carney campaign for the last election, and he's saying, oh, well, China didn't sway this at all. I don't buy it.
I've had multiple such briefings. At every briefing I ask, is there any individual, any company, any information at all that you need to share with me that would influence government's decisions about access to information, contracts, or anything else, because we want to be a good partner in national security. And I can advise this House that never once has CSIS or the RCMP shared any concerns at all about any member of government caucus.
This guy wants to talk about national security when there's verified sources connecting David Eby and Ding Guo and numerous other connections and researchers alleging Canada Committee 100 Society, Wenzhou Friendship Society, Rise Weekly, all connected to the United Front Work Department, a direct wing of the Communist Chinese Party. Now, this is where things go completely off the rails. You got to see this.
Is instability, chaos, fights, poor relationships. So,
members,
honestly, is the leader of the opposition who just had an MLA arrested, is he telling me that he would bring stability to the government? Are you serious? I'm serious. That happened. That happened.
Shh. Members,
So,
let's stick to the point, please.
so fights with
Members.
First Nations.
Shh. Members, 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 leader of the official opposition. Leader of the official opposition.
So you can see Trevor Halford over here, who's the interim leader of the BC Conservatives right now while the leadership race is going on. And he's calling out Eby here to his face because David Eby has brought all these problems in, whether it's with First Nations reconciliation, land grabs at Cowichan, Musqueam, you name it. This is all David Eby. And now we've got this problem with China trying to infiltrate, getting access to critical minerals through the First Nations. We've got David Eby himself has connections to the Chinese Communist Party through his advisor Ding Guo. And now we have a cabinet member that's allegedly being collaborating with the Chinese Communist Party, but we don't know who it is. And I don't blame Kennedy Stewart for not naming it. He's already going too far by potentially even breaking his briefing or his NDA that he signed. But I mean, this is out of control. And as you're going to see, literally, this gets out of control.
Leader of the official opposition will come to order now. And Premier will conclude.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Stability, avoiding extremism,
Members,
asking people who don't meet minimum standards of ethics to resign, basic requirements of leadership and government. Absent from the Conservative side, Honourable Speaker, we bring stability, we bring investment, we bring growth. The second highest in Canada.
I can't even. This guy says he brings stability. He's destabilized not only the entire West with this, the entire province of British Columbia, investment in this province, but also a pipeline to the West Coast from Alberta. And he says we're the second best for investment. So I just quickly listened back there. He said we bring investment and we bring growth, the second highest in Canada. And this guy has completely demolished the lumber industry in British Columbia. Mills shutting down left, right, and center. Mark Carney is not providing any support for the mills and the logging industry that's left. This circus has gone too far. We've got clowns coast to coast and a Carney running the the federal government.
Now,
members will come to order. And Premier, please conclude.
one of the leadership candidates to the Conservative Party just proposed partnering with 1BC in residential schools denial and fights with Indigenous people. If they think that's going to grow the economy, that's going to support small business, that's going to bring stability to the province, it's not.
Thank you.
Our government is proud to do this work, Honourable Speaker.
David Eby getting called out because he's been an absolute disaster for this country, not just for BC. Jumping back to Sam Cooper's investigative research here, with all this stuff I just showed you here today, and then we've also got other reports of the RCMP will not disclose the details of their new collaboration with the Chinese police. Sam Cooper posting this in 2024, the Bureau revealed that an officer from British Columbia's organized crime agency had investigated a Vancouver police officer in connections with alleged police database breaches, specifically suspected misuse of the Canadian Police Information Center and concerns that sensitive law enforcement data may have been passed to Chinese officials. Make it end. This has to end. Can we not have ethical members of parliament, both federally and provincially across our country? And can we not have our police force having direct connections with the Chinese government? Now, to end off this episode on a lighter note, this is coming from USA Today. We've got an 88-year-old Army veteran who lost a lot in his life. He had to go back to working at a store. Then an influencer came around, his name's Samuel Wiederhofer, blew up his story on TikTok, and he was given $1.7 million on GoFundMe to retire.
Oh, I try to make.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 88.
And still working?
Yes, I have to.
Why do you have to keep working?
Retired from General Motors in 99. 2012, I went bankrupt and they took my pension away from me.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a wife?
She passed away 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
She was sick when I lost my pension.
So you've been struggling a bit?
A little bit.
You said that you lost your pension?
Yes, sir, I did. I was in the Army back in 1966.
So you're a veteran too?
Yes. Thing that hurt me the most was my wife was real sick. And they, when they took the pension, they also took the health care coverage
Yeah.
and all but $10,000 of my life insurance.
Oh my gosh.
So I sold the house, sold the property I had, and we made it through. My wife died 7 years ago. Since then, I've been trying to reestablish myself.
And you're working here how many days a week?
I work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
And you do that because you have to, or
Yeah, I don't have enough income.
Imagine trying to reestablish your life at 88.
dream?
Somewhat the life I was hoping for.
Like to share your story and try and, get people to help you retire?
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Well, it worked. $1.7 million.
You're amazing. I want to give you $400 here as a tip.
So this was from a few months ago, but touching story. This was posted on GoFundMe, $1.7 million. He said he was blown away. He cried 15 times. There's still some good in this world.